Okay, welcome to another snippet, another episode, another short window of time with me and you talking about Christian finances. This is called Grow Your Money with God. This is a podcast, and we are dealing with financial IQ, financial education. And just to clarify for those that maybe don't know me, or some of you do know me, my name is Steve Wohlberg. I'm the director of White Horse Media. I'm a minister. I've written a lot of books on Bible prophecy. White Horse Media has a website that's loaded with end time information, which is whitehorsemedia.com. We have a big YouTube channel. And as I'm speaking to you here, I'm really not wearing my White Horse hat. I'm wearing my Steve Wohlberg financial education hat. I've done a lot of study in finances. I believe in good stewardship. I believe in the importance of learning how to handle money. I don't put this as separate from my Christian life. I put this as part of my Christian life because Jesus said, occupy till I come. Occupy till I come. And we all have to pay bills, and this is part of the Christian life. So let me read a Bible verse before I talk about the main person I want to talk about, which his name is Jack Bogle, or John Bogle, who founded Vanguard, which is one of the most prestigious asset managers in the world. So Luke chapter 19, Jesus tells a story where he tells his people to occupy or do business until he comes. He describes in verses 12 on through verse 27 about a nobleman who goes into the far country and gave certain amounts of money or pounds to his servants, and then he went away. He gave them, he had different pounds, so he gave a pound to each of them. And when he came back in verse 15, Luke 19:15, the Bible says it came to pass that when the nobleman returned, having received the kingdom, he commanded his servants to be called to him, to whom he had given the money. He had given his money over to these servants and wanted them to be good stewards. And then it said that he might know how much every man had gained by trading. Are you trading your money? Are you using your money wisely? That's what he wanted to find out. And in verse 16, then came the first servant to the nobleman, and he said, Lord, your pound, your 1 pound that you gave me, has gained 10 pounds. So he gave him a pound, and then he turned it into 10 pounds. Now, if you do the math, that's a very large return on your money. So, if he had 1 pound, then he turned it into 2 pounds, that would be 100% return on his money. If he turned it into 5 pounds, that would be a 500% return on his money. But he turned it into 10 pounds, which is really a 1,000% return on the master's money, which is a very, very high return on investment, ROI. It's referred to in the financial community. So that's a lot. And it shows that Jesus is certainly not opposed to people multiplying their talents, multiplying their influence, and multiplying their money. And in fact, in the next verse, the master said to him, well done, you good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a little bit, and you will have authority over 10 cities. So as I read this parable at face value, I do believe that the talents apply to many, many things, but it's pretty clear to me also that money is the direct context. It's dealing with 1 pound into 10. Now, there are different strategies that people can use to grow their money. Of course, we need to get a good job in order to earn income to grow our money. That's one way you can grow your money, is getting a job. Another way is to learn how to invest wisely. And I don't believe that we should be just throwing our money away, that we should be gambling. I don't believe in that. But I do believe that we should earn an income. We should take a portion of our money. We should develop an emergency fund. Dave Ramsey teaches that very clearly. We should also be faithful in our tithes and our offerings, supporting God's work. This is a primary responsibility. And then we should also I think it's a wise thing to do, to take a portion of our money and to invest it wisely to grow our money, to grow our income. Let me share with you something. It's a secret, although it's not a complete secret. It's not something that's hidden, but it's something that a lot of people don't understand. And a lot of people in our church, and I'm referring right now to the Seventh-day Adventist Church. There is a secret. It's not a dirty secret. I think it's a wise practice, but it's not something that a lot of people know about. So I'm going to enlighten you about something. I have a paper in my hand which is from my wife's retirement account. That was it was kind of an update on how her retirement plan is doing. It's got her name on it, and it lists different funds that her money was invested in to grow her money. Now, here's the secret. The secret is that, and this is pretty much across the board. There might be some exceptions, but pretty much across the board in North America, those who are employed by the Seventh-day Adventist Church, whether they're in the conference office, whether they're pastors, Bible workers, if they're employed by the conference, administrators, there's a plan set up for them. A retirement plan. And the way the plan works is when they receive their salary, there is a little bit of that salary that is invested in a retirement plan, which is made up of a diversified batch of different funds. So in this particular statement that we received, a portion of my wife's money went into an SDA large cap equity index fund class B. Another portion went into an SDA small mid cap equity index fund B. 23% goes into the international equity index fund, and it's divided up into these different funds. And one of these funds is Vanguard. Vanguard, which was founded by, the company was founded by John Bogle. Some of the top holdings within these funds are Apple Computer, Microsoft, the S&P 500, which are the top 500 companies in America, Berkshire B, which is Warren Buffett's company, and Amazon. These are some of the top funds. So what's happening here is, and this is happening all over North America, that people who are employed by the church, a little bit of their salary goes into this diversified fund, and they do this, they keep putting this money in every time they get a paycheck, and it's automatic. It's not something that they think about. So it doesn't, they don't have to watch the market every day. They don't have to deal with this. But this money goes into these into this pie, into these slices. And the idea is that if they do this on a regular basis for the rest of their lives, when they get older and when they retire, they're going to have quite a bit of income that is going to be that will have grown from their systematic investing into a diversified group of businesses and funds. And if the market goes down and the price of these businesses go down, that's okay, because as they keep putting money in, they're getting a discount. And then as the market goes up, they're growing their money. If it goes down, they keep buying and they keep getting it at a discount. And those who have studied finances, they know that if you do this consistently long term, you're going to grow your money. Now, a lot of people don't work for the church. Probably you don't work for the church, but you can still learn yourself how to set up one of these funds. And I was impressed with the fact that most of these are index funds. Now, let me explain what an index fund is. And this is where John Bogle comes in. John Bogle founded Vanguard. He's dead now. Well, I've read his book. I've read quite a few of his books. I've watched him on YouTube. I've learned a lot from this man. He was a Christian man, very conscientious, and he wrote a little book called The Little Book of Common Sense Investing. Little Book of Common Sense Investing. Very good book. I learned a lot when I read it. And basically what he's talking about is don't put your money into mutual funds, which are funds of companies, because mutual funds have a lot of hidden costs. They have entry costs, they have exit costs, they have management costs, they have transaction costs that you never see, but these costs siphon out, they siphon off of your bottom line and of the growth of your funds. And so Bogle recommends what's called index funds. Probably the most famous is the S&P 500, which are the 500 biggest actively traded companies in America. And when you invest in an index fund, which is a fund that mirrors The S&P 500, there's very low management fees because they just are managed and placed into an index instead of a lot of managers that are buying and selling and doing a lot of different things. So those costs are not there. It's very, very small, what they call an expense ratio. So it doesn't cost much. And you, as an average person, you can set up an investment account for free, and you can automate your income so that a little bit of your income goes into, such as one option will be the S&P 500 as a Vanguard fund, as an index fund, which has very low cost, doesn't cost you much, doesn't cost you to get into it, and you don't lose a lot of money in the course of many years. And the principle is that if you do this on a regular basis and automate your income to put a little bit into your investment account, you are building for your future. You're building for the days ahead. Should time last long enough, you are occupying until Jesus comes, or at least part of that, and you are providing for yourself in the days ahead. Whitehorse Media is my employer, and I get my salary from Whitehorse Media. Whitehorse Media does not have a specific retirement account, so I have done the research on my own. And I've set up my own investment account. I've got one for myself, one for my wife, one for Seth, one for Abby. We put money into these on a regular basis. These investment accounts are growing. They're not worth, millions of dollars, but they're growing, and they're going to help my kids and me and my wife in the days ahead, should time go on long enough. And if you don't know how to do this, if you know nothing about this, you can check out a website that I put together with my associate, Jeremy Hayes, and his team. And the website is Grow Your Money with God. Grow Your Money with God. So you can see it right there. You can see the QR code. We've cut the price down quite a bit. So there is a cost to get this education, but it's not a lot compared to financial courses, normal financial courses. And not only that, there's a lot of free education that's on this site. So you don't really have to buy the course if you don't want to, if you don't have the money. You can just get a lot of free education right there on the site. So if you want to learn these principles that Jack Bogle teaches and how to get yourself set up into a low-cost index fund, which is really one of the basics for investing. There's many strategies, more advanced strategies, but this is a simple strategy that's very valuable. You can check out growyourmoneywithgod.com. You can scan in the QR code, which will take you to the site, and you can begin learning more about financial education. And I've made a very strong effort to weave into this whole course biblical principles, so that it's not just it's not just my idea. It's based on the Bible, and it's based on the smart advice of people who know what they're doing, like Jack Bogle, the founder of Vanguard, the author of the Little Book of Common Sense Investing. So check out the site. Thank you for watching this short episode on financial education, sponsored by growyourmoneywithgod.com and by Jeremy Hayes and his team, who are behind the scenes helping us with this podcast. So thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again sometime in the future for another episode of more financial education. Thanks for watching.